What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down fresh out. You tuned into another edition of our prison talk. I want to say thank you for subscribing, for supporting, for everybody who's tuned in, and also for supporting our Patreon, which we're doing a big push over there for the Fresh Out facility. And a lot of you guys have been supporting. We really appreciate that. So continue sharing and liking our channel and subscribing to our Patreon. And we look forward to having you guys being part of our team. I just want to talk about, there's some interesting things going on in the news right now. Porn star Ron Jeremy is currently incarcerated, LA County, $6.6 million bail, accused of rape, and faces up to 90 years if convicted on all 4 counts. I'm quite sure his plea agreement is going to be somewhere around 20. And, they're really cracking down, man. And I had just did a video about Hollywood weirdos and how there's a lot of misuse of power and just a lot of inappropriations going on in that industry. A lot of people look at Hollywood and they just think, money, fame, drugs, partying, girls, sex. But there's a lot of other things that transpire that nobody talks about. And because it's a pretty much male-dominated industry, there's been a lot of just manipulation that's taken place in a lot of situations that hasn't been addressed, that's being addressed now. When you think of somebody who's worked in the adult entertainment industry, as far as a guy, and you would think, like, why would he have to take sex from a woman? Well, there are guys in that industry who are deviants, guys who feel like, every woman wants them, or they're God's gift as far as men are concerned. But it doesn't mean that the woman necessarily, because she doesn't, kick you off of her or throw an elbow to your stomach, that she wants to have sex with you. And, there's guys who, take advantage of situations, man, and it could be, considered borderline non-consensual. And, from a woman's perspective, looking at Ron Jeremy, he's just a nasty looking dude, man, disgusting. He was never no stud. I mean, he kept a hard on, and that was one of the reasons why he worked a lot, but there was nothing attractive about the guy. And there's, back in the day, there was a lot of guys who weren't necessarily just guys you would see on the street with a beautiful woman, because these dudes had no game. If it wasn't for the adult entertainment industry, they wouldn't even be, probably getting sex like that. They'd be paying for it. So, you can't misconstrue that a person in that industry, just because they had access, that they wouldn't go beyond other means to take advantage of situations. And I'm not trying to convict the guy. I've seen him. I haven't hung out with him. I'm not a friend of his personally, but I just know that in the industry there are some unscrupulous people. From the photographers, from the video guys. I mean, I've seen guys walk in on the girls getting dressed, showering, take advantage of situations. It happens, man. I wasn't down with that shit, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't really hang out with a lot of dudes in the industry. A lot of these guys behind your back would try to sleep with your girl. I had plenty of guys, before I got locked up, when I was really in the game, try to hit on my girl, try to throw salt in my game, just scandalous, man. Dudes are scandalous. Even if they have what they consider a big one, and they've had all these girls, it's not enough for them. They still got to try to get what they think you have, because that's their ego. And it's the same thing when they're trying to press up on all these girls. It's their ego. So they do stuff that's not forthcoming, and it's not surprising. I'm quite sure there's a lot more other cases that haven't really been brought to light because of maybe the situations of how they how they came about. But like I said, it doesn't surprise me when I hear about stuff like this. It was just, it was just maybe a long time coming, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if I hear other cases, pop up. But it's just a crazy industry. And, as referring back to my other video, but a lot of these people who come starry-eyed and they think that by maybe sleeping their way to the top, they can achieve a certain level of success. And along that path, there's a lot of creepers, just a lot of nasty looking dudes, guys who, like I said, it's just they got money and they think that gives them privilege to take advantage of these young women, and it doesn't. I was never about that, and I just think that, being somebody who's maybe a family member of one of the females, I would want to probably split that dude's wig, but we'll see what happens with this case. I'm quite sure, this guy's in his best interest is going to probably be to take that plea agreement. And we'll see if there's even other cases that come out, just like the Bill Cosby situation, just like the Weinstein situation, just like the R. Kelly situation. It's just a changing of the tide, man. It's a lot of conscious awakening, and a lot of people are kind of just now seeing things differently, and they're not accepting what they thought was considered a norm. So to all the guys out there that are in positions that take advantage of situations like this, I mean, there are plenty of women who are consenting. And so, if you're in a situation where it could possibly be misconstrued because the girl passed out, because you were at a party, maybe somebody told you it was cool, hey man, just pass. Don't put yourself in a criminal situation to get charges brought about, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to explain yourself out of a situation where your DNA is used as evidence. You're going to be screwed. And plain and simple, if it wasn't a situation where she asked you to, but you assumed, it's probably better to not assume. Just a little word of advice. Big Herc, 916, getting down with Fresh Out.